Hey, welcome to this is the first regular content we're going to do, so it will be one every 2 weeks. We'll be touching on different topics such as investing, saving, banking, like lots of fintech stuff. The goal really is for everyone to understand finance because it's not particularly difficult from a day-to-day banking point of view, and I find it really fun. Today's topic, we're going to talk about how to rebuild your credit rating. I'm going to give you a bit of advice. I'm not by any means a financial advisor. What I can do is I can share a bit of my story, process I went through, and how we can use fintech products to help, repair damage that we've probably done through like a lack of understanding. So today we're going to talk about how to rebuild your credit rating realistically in about a 6 to 12 to 18 month period, depending how much damage has been done. So let me share my experience with credit ratings, missed payment, debt, still a debt, and on what it's resulted in. One of the reasons I find this area particularly interesting is because most people, I went to a bank from an early age. You turn 18, you plan to go to university, you go to them, you wanna start doing the finance things, right? That you've not been able to do prior to that. I said I was going to university. I just want to be able to build up my credit rating. I had no experience about finance at all. But anyway, I went and they sold me PPI. They gave me a massive credit card. They told me, my APR was the lowest I could get. Also, I didn't need the PPI, so I actually went back and had to claim that back at a later date. It's a different story. But anyway, it was just a mess. So it was brought on by two things. One, my naivety, my lack of understanding of financial awareness. Two, the bank's kind of predatory nature, where they missold your products. But anyway, as this went on, this built up over a few years where I was given access to, which at the time felt like large amounts of money, but without any real way of being able to pay it back. So of course, and I'm not mitigating all blame by any means, but what I am saying is that this is why it's interesting for me. I had missed payments on my credit card. You'd get huge fees for that, but that also took a dent into my credit rating. And then the big one was a defaulted account. So the default account sits on your credit rating for 6 years. And to give you context to this defaulted account, it wasn't a huge sum of money by any means. It was actually, the bill was for £12. And that has been the biggest dent to my credit rating. You can kind of get your credit rating back really, really quickly. You don't have to be earning a lot of money by any means. You just need to be really smart about it. So I'm going to take you through a process now of how to build back your credit rating and the essentials of building back your credit rating. There's very few things you can be good at doing with your eyes closed, and amending your credit rating is definitely something you need to have your eyes open for. So the best way to do that is to look at your current credit rating. The obvious ones, it's a company called Experian. My problem with Experian is this. I don't know if they've changed their policy now. I think that it's significantly reduced from when I was doing it, but Experian knew that you were trying to improve your credit rating, and that's why you wanted access to your credit data. But to get that credit data, you had to pay the monthly subscription of $14.99 a month, and it had to be a minimum 12-month period, right? And that was the only way that you could see your credit rating. Really a noble business they had there. So another company came about, and that company is called Clearscore. So this is the best place to start. I would, hands down, step one, register for Clearscore. Or you can sign up in minutes. You get your own personal dashboard. It will allow you to add new addresses so that you can start building a better picture. You have the ability to connect accounts. You have a full understanding of where your problem areas are on your credit rating, and that is how you tackle them. You're probably doing a lot of things fine. You've just probably got some gray areas, say. So that's the best place to start, because without the data, without the information, you're really going through this process in the dark. You've got to look at your day-to-day. Like, how do you improve your credit rating without spending lots of money, right? Well, here's the fun bit. It's not about how much money. It's about how many people are lending to you. It's not about, are they giving me £1 million? Are they giving me £1,000? The best place to start, and this is where I started and this helped, this fast-tracked me. It took me a little while to find it. Go and look at Capital One credit cards. You can improve your credit rating with these very, very small credit allowances. And as long as you pay it back every month, things are looking better. That little needle on your Clearscore is going up and up and up and up. Set reminders. So look at your calendar view. Work out when all your payments are due. Make sure you don't miss a single one. Look at your budgeting. Look at how quickly you're spending when you get paid. So if you get paid on a monthly basis, make sure that you're just factoring enough to pay those credits that you've picked up along the way. And I know it sounds simple, but just like step one, where you have that transparency of your credit rating, you need that transparency of your daily spend as well to ensure that the problem that you currently have doesn't perpetuate, because now we're only doing positives. No more negatives. You've done all the negatives. You felt sorry for yourself, and now it's time to move on and just never miss a single payment. And then here's very, very quickly some quick tips to help you with your day-to-day. Make sure that you register in all your accounts. So it could be your phone bill, any stored credit that you currently have, any credit cards, any bank addresses. Make sure that they all go to a single address. And ideally you'd be registered to vote at that address. It's all about making it look like you're a trustworthy, reliable person that has a very, very normal life where you're not jumping around. And I understand this is difficult if you live in London or you live in a major city where you move maybe every 12, 18 months based on your tenancies and increasing rent prices. Consider having housing address at maybe a parent's address, or just with people that are going to be at that house for a longer period of time. Another one is leave your credit rating alone. Though you should get a credit card that's going to help you build up your credit rating, though you should try and get a phone contract that will help you build up your credit rating and your reliability. You don't want to apply for 10 different credit cards. Pick one that you think you're going to get. Ideally one that isn't going to check your credit rating. So Capital One do that. Visualize it this way. Every time you poke around in that credit rating, it's like another crater hitting the moon, and it's damaging your overall credit rating. Step 3 is trying to fix what's broken and not hack it, because that's not what you're doing. You're going to try and go to your bank and ask them to remove the late payment. If you've only had a few late payments, you'll be able to write to them and say, I only had a few late payments, but it's having a big impact on my credit rating. Please, can you remove these late payments? Most of the time, they will come back and they will understand your point of view and help you by removing those little stains on your credit rating. And then there's a slightly bigger one, which is removing defaulted accounts. For me, even though this company have claimed that they've heard the recordings where I closed off the debt, told them that I wouldn't be at that address anymore, they still refuse to remove the defaulted account. So it's important to note that this was for a £12 bill, but they still refuse to take off my defaulted account. So what you can do is you can go to the supplier and ask. So I asked this company, they said no. Also went via Experian. I paid an additional fee with Experian to try and get it removed. They said no, which left me in a difficult situation. However, Experian put a note on my credit rating, which means that any automatic systems have to then be put to a manual intervention. So let me explain that. I signed up for a new phone. After the note had been added, I filled in the form on the website and it said, we're not sure what's going on. We'll send this to manual intervention. The manual intervention jumped in. So some guy up in Leeds, I think, would have jumped in and said, okay, obviously there's a reason here why he has a default account, and this doesn't really justify not giving this person access to credit. Within 24 hours, I got an email saying that it's been approved and I was able to get a phone. Approach the people who have given you problems on your credit rating. And if you do that, you do it alongside all the other tips. Keep it positive. You'll have your credit rating fixed in a 12 to 18 month period. Well, hopefully. But you'll definitely be in a better place.